Welcome to The Functional Esthetician, a podcast where skin health meets whole body wellness. I'm Samantha Dench, a licensed esthetician of 22 years, owner of Skin Deep Aesthetics, author, and a student of functional medicine. My mission is to help you see the bigger picture because healthy skin starts from within. In each episode, we'll explore the gut-skin axis, hormones, nutrition, skincare, and wellness tools you can use to transform your skin. Welcome to the Functional Esthetician Podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Dench. Today we're talking about hormones. We are going to cover a lot today, but it's all great information and something we need to talk about more. This episode will talk about hormonal imbalances that show up on your skin, such as hormonal acne and skin changes, cycle imbalances, fatigue, and cortisol. Your hormones aren't fighting you. They're shouting at you to pay attention. You are going to learn how to get the answers you're searching for. Please enjoy. Ever notice your skin breaking out the week before your period? This all too common theme is something many of you struggle with every month. More women today struggle with breakouts around their chin and jawline than ever before. If you remember from the face mapping episode, the chin and jawline are connected to the reproductive organs. Hormonal acne tends to be cyclical, which is very frustrating because it comes and goes and there's no consistency. Over the years, I've had many clients come in to see me for regular facials. And it's funny because several of them have always said to me, I swear my skin is great until the week leading up to my facial. And the reason that happens is because they're dealing with hormonal acne. They're probably on their period or close to it when they come in for their facial. So naturally, the week that they come in for their facial is when their skin is breaking out. And just know, hormonal acne is not caused by something you've done right or wrong to your skin. It's caused from a shift in your hormones, particularly progesterone and androgens around your period. Doing facials and sending clients home with skincare products only goes so far because those breakouts don't stop. This is what inspired me to study functional medicine. I can test for hormonal imbalances. Then we can address the root cause. This will help support your body and clear your skin. You have to remember, our skin is communicating with us. We look at acne and we try to attack it. We run out and buy whatever acne products we can get our hands on. We are desperate to clear our skin because we are so frustrated that these breakouts keep coming back no matter what we do. But when your acne is coming from within, nothing you put on your skin topically is going to help clear it up. And that's why clearing acne, even as an esthetician, can be so frustrating. What exactly causes these hormonal fluctuations? Is this normal? Let's talk about a typical cycle and how your hormones fluctuate at various times of the month. On day 1, estrogen and progesterone levels drop. This starts your period. Basically, your body resets and starts the cycle all over again. At the end of your active bleeding, the follicle-stimulating hormone begins to rise. This triggers estrogen to increase, preparing your ovaries for ovulation. As you approach ovulation, the luteinizing hormone, also known as LH, begins to rise. The rise of LH is triggered by an increase in estrogen. When LH peaks, ovulation occurs, and estrogen levels drop. As LH begins to decrease, it stimulates progesterone. Throughout the next 2 weeks, progesterone levels continue to rise. Progesterone is responsible for strengthening the uterine walls in preparation for pregnancy. If no pregnancy occurs, progesterone levels remain high while estrogen levels begin to increase. The rise of both estrogen and progesterone are preparing your body for its next cycle. This is when many of us begin to experience PMS-like symptoms. One thing to note, estrogen levels rise twice during your cycle. First, to prepare for ovulation. Second, as you approach your next period. Now that you understand normal hormonal fluctuations, let's talk about how these fluctuations affect your skin. When your period begins, hormones drop. This rapid drop causes the skin to feel dry. Your body produces a hormone-like substance called prostaglandins. This makes your skin feel tender or sensitive. You may notice an increase in skin redness, or you might react to certain products or ingredients. Waxing will feel more painful, and you might be prone to skin lifting or post-waxing redness. As your body prepares for ovulation, estrogen increases. During this time, you'll notice your skin looking hydrated, plump, and that's when you have that gorgeous glow. After ovulation, estrogen levels drop, progesterone and testosterone levels begin to rise. This increases oil production. Your skin might feel oilier and start to break out during this time. You may even notice more clogged pores. As your period approaches, this is when you notice breakouts around the chin and on your jawline. These breakouts can be painful to the touch because testosterone levels are increased as progesterone and estrogen levels decrease. Make sure you never pick or pop these pimples. Hormonal acne is under the skin, and popping them might cause scarring. This is also the time I see most people run out and buy acne products. Like I mentioned earlier, these products aren't going to help. Acne products are designed for those with oily skin or clogged pores. While ingredients like salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide might help calm your acne, they're not going to fix your skin. I like to call this attacking your skin. We get frantic and we do whatever we can to get rid of our acne, when all it is a natural response from the body. And while it's ugly, painful, and embarrassing, the only way to clear it out is to wait until you get your period. Great advice coming from an esthetician, right? My best piece of advice for hormonal acne is to apply ice to those breakouts twice a day. Don't ever attempt to pick or pop because you will scar. If a client comes in for a facial and has hormonal acne, I won't even attempt to do extractions because I don't want to run the risk of scarring them. There are two more hormonal factors I want to cover: estrogen dominance and testosterone's effect on the skin. Estrogen dominance means there's an increase in estrogen with significantly lower progesterone levels. This can be caused by PCOS, certain medications, stress, poor diet, environmental toxins like plastics and pesticides, or liver dysfunction. Too much estrogen in the body can increase oil production. Estrogen dominance is another cause for acne on the chin and jawline. It can also cause the skin to be hypersensitive, and it can trigger melasma, which are those dark patches on the skin. On the flip side, testosterone is necessary for women. Testosterone is produced by the ovaries and adrenal glands. Our body converts some of this testosterone into estrogen. Testosterone naturally is higher right before our period and is the contributor for acne and oily skin. And I want to make note of this because as much as we hate acne and we hate breaking out, hormonal acne is a natural part of the cycle. There are ways you can minimize as much as possible. We have been talking about gut health and diet in the past several episodes. Gut and hormones are also connected. If you're eating inflammatory foods or consuming a large amount of soy, it can be altering your estrogen levels. Aim to eat a high protein and high fat diet. Eliminate gluten, dairy, sugar, and soy. Drink water to flush out your body. Exercise to move, build muscle, and detoxify. Get plenty of sleep so your body has time to rest and repair. If you are under stress, incorporating deep breathing, walks, and mindfulness will help relieve stress. And if you have tried several of these options and are still experiencing hormonal fluctuations and imbalances, we can do some functional testing. This will give you answers you're looking for. Lastly, keep your skincare simple. The goal of your skincare is to support your skin. And you would think, being an esthetician, I'd be all over that 10-step skincare routine. But it's actually the complete opposite. I'm a single mom of 3 teenagers, so multiple steps is completely out of the question. I've always been a simple person, and my skincare has always reflected that. Here's a way to simplify your skincare routine. Buy a high-quality cream or oil-based cleanser and use that twice a day. Find a gentle exfoliant like an enzyme or gommage and do that once a week. Our skin naturally exfoliates. As we age, cell turnover slows down. Adding in a weekly exfoliant increases cell turnover. Use a hydrating serum in the morning and an anti-aging serum at night. And always use a moisturizer both morning and night. If you are looking for product recommendations, I do have an online store on my website. I've added the link to that in the show notes along with a coupon code for 15% off your first purchase. What if you don't have a normal cycle? Most women these days have irregular cycles, suffer from PMS or PMDD symptoms, perimenopause, and menopause symptoms without relief. Some of the more common reasons why your cycle becomes irregular is because of PCOS, endometriosis, or thyroid issues. Other reasons include stress or extreme weight loss or gain, birth control, certain medications, gut health, and diet. PCOS happens when there is an imbalance of estrogen, androgens, and insulin. More research is coming out about PCOS and how to manage it. Since insulin levels are affected, weight gain is common. If you're suffering from PCOS, adjust your diet to increase your protein and fat intake. Eliminating sugary, inflammatory, and highly processed foods will regulate your blood sugar levels. This helps to stabilize your hormones, your gut, and your weight. Many women suffering from PCOS tend to have sensitive skin, acne, and hair growth on their chin and jawline. PCOS can also contribute to estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance is when estrogen increases and progesterone levels significantly decline. Symptoms of estrogen dominance include prevents ovulation and thickens the uterine lining, which leads to heavy periods and clotting. Periods become either shorter or longer in length. For example, less than 21 days or longer than 35 days. Acne and oily skin is very common with estrogen dominance. Low progesterone is another hormonal concern that causes a variety of issues, such as irregular periods, heavy or light periods, and spotting or bleeding between cycles, severe PMS symptoms, irritability, depression, and anxiety. Many women suffering from low progesterone believe they're in perimenopause because their symptoms include hot flashes, night sweats, fatigue, headaches, vaginal dryness, and sleep disturbances. Your skin becomes dry or sensitized, and you might notice sagging skin or newer wrinkles popping up because collagen begins to break down. Dark spots become more noticeable. The skin becomes itchy and rashes can occur. Perimenopause is the 5 to 10 years leading up to menopause. Some women can start getting perimenopause symptoms in their mid-30s. Don't just assume that this is perimenopause. It could be caused from an increase in cortisol levels. We are going to cover this in a little bit. If you are noticing irregular periods or any of the symptoms we've been talking about, I highly recommend you look into functional testing. This type of test will map out your hormones throughout your entire cycle, plus check for cortisol levels. This will help us understand if it's hormones or cortisol causing your symptoms. I'm going to dig into this a little deeper. Do you ever wake up feeling tired and wired at the same time? That might not be your hormones. That might be your body's stress response. Let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands and is responsible for our body's stress response. Cortisol regulates blood sugar, blood pressure, and inflammation. Our cortisol levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day and can be triggered by stressful situations. However, chronic stress can be damaging to our cortisol levels. Chronic stress affects the HPA axis, also known as the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. If the HPA axis is affected, we can develop health problems such as cardiovascular disease, weakened immunity, and mental health problems. Chronic stress affects our hormones, thyroid, and cortisol levels. That hormonal imbalance you think you're dealing with might actually be your cortisol. And I'm going to share my experience with this because I've been having some crazy mood swings for the last year plus. Like most women in their late 40s suffering with perimenopause, I assumed I was too. I ran a functional test on myself called the Dutch test to track my cortisol and hormone levels and found that I do have lower estrogen. However, my progesterone levels are normal. And actually, it wasn't my hormones. My cortisol levels are way off. My body is conserving estrogen because my body's in a fight or flight state due to chronic stress. Here's what's happening. The HPA axis regulates our hormones. Chronic stress disrupts the body's ability to send signals to produce estrogen. During fight or flight, cortisol levels also affect the body's ability to get pregnant. High cortisol levels also affect your digestion because your body thinks it's in danger. For example, if you were running away from an animal, the last thing you'd be thinking about is stopping to use the bathroom. Our body's smart. It knows when to conserve as a protective mechanism. That's what separates functional medicine from conventional medicine. Functional medicine testing looks at your hormones and asks, why is that hormone off? What's causing your estrogen or progesterone to be high or low? From that point, that's how we start the healing process. I've been taking supplements to help regulate my cortisol, and it has been helping. My moods have gotten better. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm also in the middle of a storm, and I'm doing my best to weather it. And at this point, the only way out of the storm is through it. I am working to take care of myself as best as I can. As women, we carry stress because we're responsible for kids, family, work, home. And most of us push through until something big takes us down. We ignore those subtle symptoms because we think they're normal. Here's how chronic stress is trying to get us to pay attention. That midday crash, headaches, sugary or fried food cravings, digestive issues, depression, anxiety, and brain fog. If we pay attention to these signals and try to understand what's causing them, we can prevent future illness or hormonal imbalances. On the skin, chronic stress shows up as acne, hives, sensitive skin, rashes, or reactions to products or ingredients. Other ways are dark circles and puffiness, hyperpigmentation, dull skin, and premature aging. Here's what happens when we have increased cortisol levels. Inflammation directs immune cells to the skin. An increase in enzymes breaks down the collagen and impairs your skin barrier, making it susceptible to damage. Burnout is real and has a real impact on your health and your skin. When you're under stress, how do you work to regulate your cortisol? Light exercise, like walking, gets your body moving. Bonus, take a morning walk so the sunlight hits your face. Sunlight increases vitamin D, which is important for regulating cholesterol levels and your immune system. Switch to a high protein and high fat diet. I cannot stress this enough. Eliminate sugary foods, gluten, dairy, and anything processed. Incorporate deep breathing into your day. For example, take 5 deep breaths before you get out of bed in the morning. Or when you lay down for bed at night, take 5 deep breaths to relax your body and help you fall asleep. Try taking a bath. Baths are one of my favorite things to do at night. I keep a book in my bathroom, and my goal is to read one chapter when I'm in the tub. This helps get my mind off the day and helps my body relax. Start a journaling practice. The art of journaling gets that hamster mind out of your head and onto a piece of paper. This can help give you clarity and relieve some stress from your day. Journaling is another one of my favorite practices because it helps me see clear, especially when life is stressful, but also in times of gratitude. All of these activities increase mindfulness, and mindfulness helps restore your nervous system, which is screaming for your attention. Aim for only 5 minutes a day. It's better than running yourself ragged. We all know that phrase when you fly. Put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. The reason is because we are of no use to others if we are not taking care of ourselves first. This is hard for most women, and I am especially guilty of this. I have always put myself last, and I am working on giving myself permission to put myself first. And I'm not going to lie, it is a battle I deal with every single day. Burnout doesn't mean you're weak. Burnout means your body is desperate for a break. It needs to regulate itself and restore itself back to balance. Your hormones aren't fighting you. They're guiding you. When you listen and pay attention, your body and skin begin to heal. I'd like to end today's episode with one small step you can start taking today. Pay attention to your body and make note of what you're feeling. If you have a cycle tracking app, make a note of how you're feeling on specific days or how your skin's responding. If you don't use an app, create a note section in your phone or start writing this down. Look for patterns throughout your cycle. See if you can start to understand when you're feeling off or when your skin starts to change. The goal of this exercise is to look for signals and signs from your body. When you understand your body, making changes becomes easy. We covered a lot of information today. I do recommend going back to re-listen to this entire episode because you don't want to miss anything. Thank you for listening. Today we talked about hormones and what is normal versus irregular and what might be causing your hormonal imbalances. We ended with cortisol and the impact stress has on your body and skin. Hormones are such a big topic for women and need to be talked about more. Please head over to our social media page and tell us what else you'd like to learn about hormones, because there will be future episodes about this topic. Be sure to tune in to episode 7. We are going to talk about seasonal changes and how they affect your skin. And always remember, you deserve to love the skin you're in. As estheticians, we have such a unique opportunity to not only care for the skin on the surface, but to guide our clients towards deeper wellness. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it with me on Instagram @SkinDeepIL. I look forward to connecting with you there. And if you enjoyed this conversation, subscribing and reviewing the podcast helps others find these conversations too. And always remember, you deserve to love the skin you're in.